Alright, what's going on, everyone? I wanted to kind of cover the SB-97 bill for Texas. As you can see, I've read through it, I've highlighted certain things, and I want to go over that with you guys. I'm going to read off a lot of it, and I'm also going to just simply let you know in layman's terms what that will be. So, I'm going to need a vape before I go through this. Alright. SB-97. This is the vaping bill, as it's been coined, for Texas. It goes into effect on October 1st, so all of these laws are 100% active and I guess you could say legally binding on the 1st of October. So first off, they started saying Section 21A. E-cigarette means an electronic cigarette or any other device that simulates smoking by using a mechanical, heating element, battery, or electronic circuit to deliver nicotine or other substances to the individual inhaling from the device. The term does not include a prescription medical device unrelated to the cessation of smoking. So essentially, they described what a vape is. So there you go. They're so good at that. Most places can't even figure out what the fuck they are. B, a component, part, or accessory for the device, regardless of whether the component, part, or accessory is sold separately from the device, is included in this. So that's going to be your coils, your tanks, your lanyards, if you want to get that, a little vape case. Anything sold in the vape shop is included in this bill. So a retailer is a person who engages in the practice of selling cigarettes, e-cigarettes, or tobacco products to consumers and includes the owner of coin-operated vending machines. So they are bundling the electronic cigarette usage, they're bundling vaping with tobacco, but I'm not against hardly anything in this bill after reading through it. Anything that I do have a little bit of a problem with, I'll let you know, and I want to know what you guys think about it as well. So, sale of cigarettes, e-cigarettes, or tobacco products to persons younger than 18 years of age prohibited. Proof of age required. We've all been IDing. We need to continue IDing. If they look under 27, I think is what it is, 27 or 30, check their damn ID. If you're not, and they look too young, but you're like, oh, well, maybe he has a mustache. A lot of people. I was growing this shit in like sophomore year of high school. So here's some interesting stuff. A person commits an offense if the person with criminal negligence, which means if you do any of this, sells, gives, or causes to be sold or given a cigarette, e-cigarette, or tobacco product to someone who is younger than 18 years of age. And it just kind of repeats the same thing again a couple times, and then it hits here. If an offense under the section occurs in connection with the sale by an employee of the owner of a store in which e-cigarettes are sold at retail, the employee is criminally responsible for the offense and subject to prosecution. So the shop's not going to get hit. Well, it may, it just doesn't read out in this bill, but the shop can get hit. But say if I'm working at the shop tomorrow and I make a sale, well, after October 1st, and I make a sale to somebody who I failed to check ID and they're under 18, I will get criminally prosecuted for that action. So be careful. We should all be checking anyway. I know I do, so just keep up the checking of the IDs. A person may not sell, give, or cause to be sold or given an e-cigarette to someone who is younger than 27 years of age unless the person to whom the e-cigarette was sold or given presents an apparently valid proof of ID. So, and also the apparently valid, that comes into play later, which I like what they've done with that, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Another thing, all shops. This video is directed at everybody, but primarily I'm talking to you people that work in shops, that own shops. I'm going through it for you. You should be going through it, but if you're not, quick rundown. Each person who sells cigarettes, e-cigarettes, or tobacco products at retail or by vending machine shall post a sign in a location that is conspicuous to all employees and customers and that is close to the place at which the cigarettes, e-cigarettes, or tobacco may be purchased. So now we all got to have a sign that says this. Purchasing or attempting to purchase e-cigarette or tobacco products by a minor under the age of 18 under 18 years of age is prohibited by law. Sale or provision of e-cigarettes or tobacco products to a minor under 18 of age is prohibited by law. Upon conviction, a Class C misdemeanor, including a fine up to $500, may be imposed. Violations may be reported to the Texas Comptroller's Office by calling, and then it'll have the number on there. Pregnant women should not smoke. Smokers are likely to have babies who are born with premature or low birth rate. Now, I'm okay with that. However, vaping, it is different. I don't recommend it to pregnant women, and if they are going to vape, don't use nicotine. It's really all it comes down to, but by putting smoking. They did not by smoking/vaping. I don't like that. It really classifies vaping in that terms into smoking, and I don't like that. Good thing though, the comptroller on request shall provide this sign without charge. So if you want to get the sign, you can either A, print it out online. I'm sure they'll have a link to it. I did not look for it, but I'm sure they will. Also, just call the local comptroller and you can go pick it up for free, which is good. A lot of random stuff. Okay. And here, offer e-cigarettes, cigarettes, or tobacco products for sale in a manner that permits a customer direct access to the cigarettes, e-cigarettes, or tobacco products. Now what that means is if you have the products where people can grab them, that will now be against the law here in Texas. They have to be in a case behind a counter on the wall far enough where the customer cannot reach and grab. So that's another thing to look out for. It does not state if you have testers, some T3S tanks, Ego tanks, whatever you're using to test flavors, those cannot be in reach. I'm assuming. I would think it would be safe to assume because it's better to keep them away from people than get busted for it later. So everything has to be out of reach and in display cases or just on the wall where they cannot grab it. Skip the page here because of nothingness. Okay, a person may not sell or cause to be sold a container that contains liquid with nicotine that is an accessory to an e-cigarette unless the container satisfies the child-resistant effectiveness standards under 16 CFR section 1700.15B1 when tested in accordance with the method described by child safety caps on the juice bottles. That's what it means. If you're selling a juice that ain't got a child safety cap on October 1st or afterwards, it is illegal. And you can be busted for it. Now, if you're ordering juice, premium lines, just house juice blends, they have to have a child safety cap, but that's mainly going to fall upon them legally if they are in Texas. However, it would be best to obviously make sure that you are purchasing bottles with child safety caps. You don't want this to be twisted in any way against you. Also, at least annually, random unannounced inspections shall be conducted at various locations where cigarettes, e-cigarettes, or tobacco products are sold or distributed, including by delivery sale, to ensure compliance. So we will be getting secret shoppers, secret vapors, as I'm going to call them. Now here's the fun part. Law enforcement agencies may make the use of a person younger than 18 years old as a minor decoy. So checking IDs, selling to those people, they will be sending in decoys. So watch out for that. There was some other interesting stuff in here. Okay. An exemption to the application of this section, which is the age requirements and selling and whatnot. So an exemption to the application of this new section that the individual younger than 18 years of age possessed the cigarette, e-cigarette, or tobacco product in the presence of an adult parent, guardian, or spouse of the individual. An employer of the individual if possession or receipt of the electronic cigarette or tobacco product is required in the performance of the employee's duties as an employee. Okay, second part, a little weird. So basically, if you got a job and vaping is vital to it and they give you one, that's okay if you're under 18, I guess, is what that sounds like. But something that's interesting that I will be making a phone call about to clarify is an adult parent, guardian, or spouse of the individual. I'm assuming that's going to be like the alcohol law here in Texas, where you can go to a bar. Now, it's always up to the establishment, but you can go to, say, I don't know, Longhorn Steakhouse, go inside with your parent. You're going to be under 21. You have to have like a birth certificate and proof that it is your child and that it is your parent. But you can order them a beer as long as they're sitting next to you, if it is within arm's reach of them, I believe. I only know that law like a little bit more than normal because of the fact I got married at age 19 and my wife was over the age of 21. So we had to carry a marriage license and she could order me drinks. Now, not many places would do it, even though it is technically legal. The establishment chooses not to do so. I'm assuming that's what this is going to be. I will be calling for clarification on that. So I guess if you're 17 and you bring your parent, they can get it for you. And you can be in the shop, I guess. I don't know 100%, but that's what it sounds like. Okay. On conviction of an individual for an offense under Section 161.252, the court shall suspend execution of sentence and shall require the defendant to attend an e-cigarette/tobacco awareness program approved by the commissioner. The court may require the parent or guardian of the defendant to also attend the program. So you get busted, you're going to get put in a program that you have to do a few hours. I think it's 12 hours of classes, kind of like defensive driving. Also, if the program is not readily available, the court shall require the defendant to perform 8 to 12 hours of e-cigarette and tobacco-related community service instead of attending the program. What is that? Picking up cigarette butts and coils from parking lots? I don't understand. Either way, a fine. I'm assuming there will be a fine, a program, and community service for even having one if you're under the age of 18. That's the big thing. Under the age of 18, you cannot have one. It's like cigarettes now, which I'm okay with. If you buy one and you want to give your kid one who's 16, you know what? That's illegal. They can't have it or use it. If they get busted, you get busted. So it's going to go all the way around. Let's see what else. There's a couple pages repeating and repeating and repeating. I read this whole bill, which was not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's something that needs to get done. We all need to know about this. Another skip. Another skip. Here we go. Last little point. A person commits an offense if the person is in possession of burning tobacco product, smokes tobacco, or operates an e-cigarette in a facility of a public primary or secondary school, or an elevator, enclosed theater or movie house, library, museum, hospital, transit system, bus, interstate bus, plane, or train, which is a public place. So what it sounds like is you can't do it in public space. It doesn't say anything about streets, certain shops. It just looks like buses, movie theaters, hospitals, museums, stuff like that. It will be illegal. I'm sure that a more detailed list, or I'm hoping a more detailed list of that will come out, you know, saying, okay, you can do it on the street, but you can't do it on the bus. You can do it at the bus stop, but not on the bus. You can do it outside of the museum in the parking lot, but just don't do it in the museum. Planes, I wouldn't vape on a plane, but I mean, it's just me. Or train, which is in a public place, I wouldn't do it on a train either. Even if it is legal, I understand it's not smoking, but at the same time, you just want to be considerate of everybody. I've always said, don't be a vape hole, you assholes that vape. Either way, that's a not so quick. It was 15 minutes so far. Rundown on SB-97. So, main points, under 18. Not only will it be unlawful to sell to them, it will also be unlawful for them to own one, to use one. So be careful with that. If you're one of the people that say, oh, screw that, I'm going to go ahead and give my 17-year-old one anyway. It doesn't have nicotine, what's the problem? Well, it's illegal. Now that's the problem. Also, I'm a little confused on, can a parent bring in a minor with proof and then purchase one for them? Is that going to be a thing now that we have to look for? Also, IDing under 27, always ID. I mean, if you're like, well, this person's over 27, but you know what? I think she'll be like, oh my God, thank you. I don't get ID'd for you. Sure, ID them too. ID the dog. If the mailman comes in, ask him for an ID. Doesn't matter. Always make sure you're not selling to a minor. And also, if you catch somebody, say, I catch it all the time. Oh, well, my little brother wants blueberry. And I'll ask, how old is your little brother? Oh, he's 17. I can sell to you, but just a note. Don't give it to him. Under SB-97, it looks like it will be illegal. And now, since it is signed, official, goes into effect on October 1st, those warnings have been correct. So that, if you're not going to print that sign for your shop, if you're a shop owner or shop employee, get a hold of the comptroller and they will give you one. I'm sure you got to go pick it up, but either way, they will give it to you, and it needs to be visible. So just, okay, here's all of our juices, here's our case, boom, it's right there. That's where it's going to need to be. I'm assuming that's where I would put it. You can't put it off by the bathroom where nobody can see it, is what it sounds. It needs to be conspicuous. Everything cannot be in reach. It has to be in a spot that the consumer cannot just grab. Now, I'm sure that you can hand it to them if they want to check it out. It does not say that that cannot happen, but it depends if you're a loose or strict constructionist here. So, any questions, I will be getting more and more information on it as I go. So, if you have a question, put it in the comments, shoot me a message on social media, whatever. If you can find me, do that. But most ideally, comment on the video that's here on YouTube. I will be putting it there just because it's already up to 18 minutes. So, other than that, like I said, any concerns? If you know something that I missed or you think I should have touched on, please let me know as well. If I get enough of that, I'll do another video and add those points in there. So, other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I know it was a long one. I know it was boring. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it's necessary. So, this is Mike. Go ahead. Let's all vape.